Now to the main event. This for the USBA Middleweight Championship. We're going 12 rounds, and this promises to be an entertaining fight. Reggie Johnson and Greg Dickson. Dickson on a roll, 21 in a row. Let's talk about the keys to victory.
For Reggie Johnson, it is always establishing the jab. When I say change the rhythm of punches, he sometimes, Jesse Reed, one of his trainers, has said, tends to throw punches in combinations that are easy to predict. Change the rhythm, and they're harder to pick off. For Dickson, he's got to adapt to a left-hander. He's not fought many left-handers, and even in sparring hasn't worked with too many. Establish himself early. He is the underdog. He's got to make Reggie Johnson believe he belongs in the ring with him.
And we'll talk about the USBA rules, slightly different.
Yeah, no 3 knockdown rules in effect. No standing 8 still there. The only referee can stop the fight. And 3 judges' score is the same, 10-point scoring. But you can only be saved by the bell in the last round.
All right, and with that, we are set to go with this 12-round fight. Let's get to Michael Bell.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission and the United States Boxing Association. Supervisor for the USBA at ringside is Walter Stone. The 3 judges for this bout are Keith McDonald, Bert Clements, and Doug Tucker. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Gardnerville, Nevada, let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds for the USBA Middleweight Championship. The referee for this bout is Mills Lane. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the gray trunks with maroon trim. He weighs an even 158 pounds. He's fighting out of West New York, New Jersey. His professional record, an excellent one with 22 victories, 21 by KO, only 1 defeat and 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Phoenix Sports of New Jersey, the new hitman, Greg Dickson. And fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the white trunks with red letters, he weighs an even 159 pounds. From Houston, Texas, also with an outstanding professional record of 24 victories, 16 by KO, only 1 defeat and 1 draw. He is the USBA Middleweight Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, Sweet Reggie Johnson.
In the dressing room already. Any questions from the challenger? No. Any questions from the champion? Let's get it on. Come on.
And you take a look at Reggie Johnson, and he is looking at a world championship fight, he hopes, but so too is the man in the other corner, and that, of course, is Greg Dickson. Dickson with perhaps the bigger punch. 21 knockouts in his 22 wins. Johnson with 13 in his 23. Mills Lane, the referee.
The knockout ratio going a little bit for Dickson. Johnson's probably faced a little bit better competition, but nevertheless, Dickson still is a very good puncher.
Dickson's fought his last 2 fights in Paris and had a win and a draw, a knockout win over Amadou Bakayoko. Why did I even try that? And then he drew with Hajala Iklef.
Come on, hey, come on. Come on.
Or was that Iklef Hajala?
And I'm going to take care of the last 2 fights of Reggie Johnson, who beat Sanderline Williams and Ismael Negron. See how easily I said those names?
That was good. Big left hand by Johnson.
Johnson, as we said, is rated number 2 by the IBF.
Good counter right hand by Johnson.
So a lot on the line for him in this fight tonight. He would be right in line if, for a title shot.
Uppercut by Johnson and a right hand by Johnson.
Johnson fighting for the Dame Boxing Club, which is a group started by John Murphy in San Francisco. He put together quite a team. Albert Davila training along with Jesse Reed. Marty Denkins, former commissioner in California, is the coordinator of that whole boxing team, and trying to make some inroads.
Johnson early on counterpunching very effectively.
By Reggie Johnson. And you know, that's something that they're trying to work with him more and more on.
Johnson very sharp in this first round, and Dickson having trouble figuring out Johnson. Good movement by Johnson, too.
And just enough there, you know, he's not running or anything of that nature. Just giving enough movement to keep Greg Dickson a little bit off balance. to Reggie Ford, Dickson's trainer. They don't place much stock in whether you're facing a lefty or a righty, he said, and he just said, if you do what you're going to do, it doesn't matter. I disagree with that. I think it's real important to emphasize the things you need to do against a southpaw, and I hope, for his sake, that he can cope with his
Excellent first left hand. Excellent left hand. I mean to jump you there.
Body to head. Body to head. Now look at top.
Stay ahead, please.
Drop him down.
Another big left hand by Johnson. Boy, Johnson very impressive in this first round.
Yeah, setting down very well in his punches. They've been working with him on that.
And we'll take you into Dickson's corner and see if his brain trust has figured it out, because their fighter hasn't yet.
Not walking this man. You understand what I'm saying? Get your hands up. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, you listening to what I'm saying? Huh? You gotta get your hands up. You gotta take your time, man. Listen to Bob. Take your time. You're waiting for the guy to punch you first. But you're not forcing this fight. The guy. Right, give me this jab. Jab body, jab head, right arm behind it. Step on him. Jab body, jab head, and right arm behind it. Step on him. Give him another drink. Push back the punch in his stomach.
Reggie Johnson, with this straight left hand, it got between those hands that weren't really in the position where they wanted him, and he landed big time. And in fact, 70% of the power shots from Reggie Johnson landed in that last round. Those numbers courtesy of those jokesters from CompuBox that make up our punch profile. And there's the numbers they provide us with. Oh, no laughing matter for Dickson. 6 out of 42. And Reggie Johnson landing 63%.
And that round wasn't that close.
No.
You know, Johnson doing something that you always talk about here, and that is keeping his foot outside his opponent's lead foot.
Which, if you're a lefty, you want to do that. And it puts him in good punching position and doesn't put Dickson in good punching position.
Time. Hey, you get off that neck like that. Come on.
Oh, big right hand, left hand rather, and down goes Dickson. Huge shot.
6, 7, 8. Come here. Come here. All right.
And Dickson's still in big trouble here. Johnson jumps on him. He's rattled. It won't take much more. Left hand there. Can't get off the ropes. And Mills Lane looking very closely. Dickson's still in a whole lot of trouble. Another big left hand. And another. And Mills Lane jumps in. And I think it's going to be a stand. No, he's going to say that's it. I thought he was going to give him a standing 8.
Would have been a possibility, but I'll tell you what, that was a superb performance by Reggie Johnson, because he mixed his punches so well when he had him in trouble. And no protest from Greg Dickson with this fight being stopped. That's the performance of a young man who is on the precipice of doing good things in the middleweight division.
Yeah, he looked very impressive tonight. He came ready to fight, and it didn't really look like Dickson did, to tell you the truth.
No, and a big opportunity for Dickson against Reggie Johnson here, but he just wasn't ready to cash in and ready to produce against him. And you know, Jesse Reed told me today, and he's not a man that's known to brag, as we take a look at the knockdown, big left hand. Jesse Reed said, I believe that we will knock him out. Greg Dickson's a good fighter, but I think Reggie is ready to score a knockout, and boy, did he ever.
Jesse Reed really doing it. We've always talked about Jesse Reed and how well he handles young fighters, and I think you're seeing a good example of that tonight.
Yeah, and Johnson, he mixed the attack very well. There he was going to the head because he had already done his body work and was able to go up there.
So a very impressive performance for that man, and supposedly the next step will be to a world championship title shot against the winner of the Nunn Curry fight, and that will be coming up in September in Paris. Let's go to Michael Buffer, make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mills Lane steps in to stop this contest at 1 minute, 18 seconds of the second round. The winner retaining his USBA middleweight championship, sweet Reggie Johnson.
So Reggie Johnson is an impressive winner, and we'll be back to talk with that winner right after this. Don't go away. We're coming back to Gardnerville. competitors. Speaking of young competitors, he wears the belt right now. He is Reggie Johnson. He hopes to trade that belt for one bigger and better. Here's Al Bernstein.
Well, that belt indeed would look better around his waist. He thinks if it was a world title. Reggie Johnson with as illustrious a boxing team probably as you can put together. Albert Davila, Jesse Reed, Marty Dankins here, a proud part of the Dame boxing team. Reggie, you came right out at him as if you wanted to end this fight. Did you feel that you could go for an early knockout?
Well, in my last outing, first I'd like to thank God for giving me the strength and power to come in and perform like this, and my manager, who's been behind me, and the Dickson whole staff. But I knew in my last fight, I won a unanimous decision, but I fought Sanderline Williams, and I looked bad. I know, and able for me to come and get the people behind me, I've got to come out and look more awesome. So I came out with bad intention.
Well, you did indeed that, and perhaps we'll take a look at where you hurt him, you knocked him down, and here's the knockdown. The straight left hand, lots of power in that punch. You landed it often.
Well, we've been working on that. Albert been taking me the same routine over and over. We've been working. After every fight, we're going back to the drawing board. Right here, I seen something I did wrong. That left hand was down. So we're going back to the drawing board working. We got Jesse Reed in now, and his reputation speaks for itself. Man, I'm ready to face anybody. None, Curry. Where these guys at, man? I'm ready.
Well, they're fighting each other first. Then presumably they'll be ready for you. Albert Davila, he talked about some of the work you've been doing with him. One of the many impressive things about Reggie is the fact that his body work is so good. I mean, it was excellent tonight.
That's one thing I stress on these guys, the body punch. The guy's got a good chin. You can hit him there all night. You won't do nothing to him. But the body punches will take everything out of him. He did that. Stay real good to the body and then mix it up to the head. So he did very well. We're very happy with his performance.
All right, Jesse, you've worked a couple of times against Michael Nunn, for instance, and you're familiar with the Curry family. You worked with Donald's brother. What does Reggie bring to a fight against the winner of that fight?
Well, Reggie brings speed. He can match either one of them with the speed of punches. Plus, he's got a little more power. I think he can match Donald Curry with power. He just showed that today. He's a good puncher. So, I just think that he's got the chance of anybody right now that can win the title.
Reggie, it's so easy for boxers to get labels put on them. Because you have speed and because you're a jab and you move a little, people start labeling you a boxer, and then somebody will come along and say you're a runner, and that sticks with you. Does it take performances like this to make sure you don't get stereotyped in boxing?
Well, stereotype, it's all right with that because they come to a fight thinking, well, he's a puncher. Well, boom, I'll be a boxer. They say he's a boxer. Boom, I'll be a puncher. So, the public, the people, the critics, they're going to say what they want anyway. Reggie Johnson is here to please Reggie Johnson.
All right, let's do a little scouting. If tomorrow you were fighting, let's first take Michael Nunn. How do you think you would deal with him? What would be some of the key strategy moves?
Like Jesse said, I feel that I had the speed to match him. And, no doubt, I know I hit harder than Michael Nunn. I have the heart. I have a winning record. Why should I fear Michael Nunn? The guy put his pants on just the way I put my pants on.
All right, what about Donald Curry? You've seen him fight for sure, and he has had kind of a renaissance now back in the picture.
Well, Donald Curry, I had a lot of respect for Donald Curry, but he's on the way down. It's time for the new kid on the block, me, the new breed. Right. Me and Donald Curry fight Vegas, Atlantic City. We have a Texas shootout wherever the fight is held.
There you go. Congratulations, Reggie. Good win. So, Reggie Johnson comes through with a big win tonight, one that, from a marketing standpoint, probably makes it certain he'll fight for the middleweight title soon. We'll be back for more from the Cow Pasture Boxing Festival.